Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. My name's Tom Novak, and today we're going to attempt a planting of our weeping leaf fig, and we're going to put an accent plant into the pot. And this is the pot I have. I drilled. It's an old pot that they use for waterfalls. I just drilled 3 holes in it. And then this part here is where the waterfall came out, but there's 2 holes on each side of it. So what I'm going to do before we work on our tree, let me tell you a little bit about the ficus. Okay, Tom, let's get organized here. Okay, it does not do well in drafty locations. I think in zones 10 and 11 you can grow it outside, but keep it out of a drafty location because it doesn't grow as well in drafty locations. It needs plenty of light indoors, so give it the brightest window you can get. Outdoors, direct sunlight, which is very fine for it, very good. And when you have it indoors, try to mist it, and especially in the wintertime. Don't let it dry out completely. I mean, water it good, but then let it dry out, but not totally. And then we're just going to use a basic soil mix of 1 part worm castings, 2 parts peat moss, 2 parts sifted perlite, and micus and azus to the pot as we do it. So this is our pot. We got 2 pumpkins I super glued on there because that used to be like a paddle wheel there. And I got a little turtle coming out the side, so this can be like a little moat over here or something, just to have something different in there. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get some perlite, and we're going to use our stone on the bottom, our perlite first. We're going to put it down into the bottom of here's for our accent plant. So this way here, nothing clogs it up. Right about there. So we'll take our chopstick, move it in, and we got it about that high, filled about that much because the holes are about that much off the bottom. I gotta figure what to do with these wires all the time. So we're just gonna take our basic potting mix. Now we could just put our little mini pixie, it's an arrowhead vine they call it. It's a SYNGONIUM, Signomium. Let's put it this way so you can see it. There we go. Now let's take it out. You can see the nice roots on here. So I think, yep, just like that. So I'm going to take my soil mix and stick it on the inside. A little bit. Just pat it down. And then we're just going to move the roots a little bit like that. Oh, I gotta let you see it better. There we go. We're just gonna tease the roots out. That's all we're gonna do. Just so it gets used to the new soil. So that's about what we're doing right there. Let's see how deep it goes. Okay, just push it in. Let's just give it a little bit more inside. And then we're going to take our mister bottle, our spray bottle, and just take all the surface tension out of the bottom there. And then all I'm going to do is take some micus. Let's see if I can get it out. Just a little bit. Put it around the root system. A little bit like that if you can see it. Let's see if I stand on this side you can see it better. and just get it around the roots. Then we're going to take our azus. I'm going to have to try to work from the side and get my potting stuff different so you can see it better. And then we're going to just take like a teaspoon of the azus. And all we're going to do is put it on some of the roots. Just like that. Oop, I missed a lot. But we can still get it inside. So all I'm going to do is brush it in with my finger. The azus, take it into my hand. Get it in with the soil. Lift it up, put it in. And there you go. Now let's get my little spoon. And what we're going to do is put the soil in and around the plant. Now you don't have to worry about getting it into the bottom of the pot here because it's going to get filled anyway. But we just want to get this into the little cavity here, because this way here this vine will drape over the side. There we go. Push it in real good. Firm it in. Just like you're planting a plant in a flower pot. That's basically what you're doing with this vine, because you just want it to drape over. There we go. Just like that. Push it in. Okay, let's get our spray bottle. Here it is. Just moisten it in there for now to get the surface tension out. There we go. We'll clean the plot a little bit later, but that's all you got to do. And now, let's take a look at our ficus. And let's see what we can do with it. So right now we want to expose the trunk. And I think, just like that, with the accent plant to the side might work. But let's cut off a lot of these leaves. Let me get my shears out. Get my little root rakes out. Tom, you're not prepared. There we go. I got some water here, so maybe we can get some, see if the cuttings will take, even though it's late in the year, but we can try it out. So right now, we're going to take this lower branch off right here, so we can expose the trunk more. Just dab it in the water there. And we want to open the trunk so people can see it, so let's get all the inside foliage out of the way. Like that, like that. Okay, we got one there. Here, here, here. One coming straight up. We can clip that back. And we can just make it like a broom style. Just cut them. Just do the best you can for now until we can see how everything looks. Now this is a curly Q one here, so I don't know if you can see it growing funny like that, so we're going to cut that one off. This one and this one. I know it might be a little boring, but we got to do it. If we can get the scissors in there to cut it right, the shears. There we go. Get this inside one out. Let me see if I can find my bigger shears. Whatever. Oh, here they are. They're a little better. So we're just going to look and cut And as you can see, the ficus do bleed. So I'm going to cut this inner branch out. So if you're allergic to the sap on the ficus, just wear gloves. If you got any allergens or anything. There we go. Now if this is our tree, we can take a little bit, try to round the canopy a little bit, just like that. And we're just doing this for now because you want it to grow later. I mean, in the wintertime it's going to slow down immensely. But that's what we're going to do. Just clip, clip. Now this one's a funny one coming out there, so we can take off right there. And we got something pretty good. And then all we're going to do is smooth the sap into the wounds because that'll help seal the wound. That's all you got to do. There's our little tree. That'll be our back. Now I do have some branches sticking you right in the face, so all I'm going to do is just take my scissors, run it along the stem where it hits the leaf, stop. Where it hits the leaf, stop. Just like that. Just hits the leaf and stop. This way here it won't look like you cut it. There we go. This is our little broom style. See, we can take this. I hit the leaf and cut it. Hit the leaf. When your scissors feel the resistance in the leaf, just cut it. Right like that. There we go. So for now, this one's sticking out funny, so we're just gonna, oh, this one might look good because this is our front. Yes, we need the foliage there, so we're just gonna snip it where it touches the leaf right there. And that's what we get. Nice little trim for now. In the summertime, or in the spring, we can do more to it. But for now, we just want it to grow. So what I'm going to do, I can move all this stuff aside. My shovel, my shears, the root rake. Let's put our pot on the side and this on the floor for now. And let's take our roots out. And you can see there's real little bit of root there. So all we want to do is take just a little bit off because it's out of the season. It's best to do these in the spring. So we just want this plant to set out roots and grow. We're not going to work with the roots right yet because it's going to go into a dormant state, and we're just pulling this back. Now as you can see, they rooted it inside a plug. So plugs are very hard to get rid of. Unless you leave them in the pot for a while, then they just rot out. But all I'm going to do is cut it. That's all we're going to do is cut it out. Because all it is a peat type soil that they put in. There we go. That way there we expose the roots more. We don't want to do too much, but you can see how it is. The plug, and then we'll just cover it up to there. It's about there. Well, we'll put our stick in there to see how it's going to look. So let's take it down here. Bring up our pot. Now we're going to take some soil and add it to the pot. And just hold down our screen. Hold down our screen. Let's get it situated correctly. There we go. We'll hold it down, just put it over our screen. So to drill the holes in here, I had to use a diamond drill bit, which made big enough holes for this soil to drain. And now, let's see, here's my knife, my soil knife. And if we stick it in like this, we're a little bit high, but we can always move it in like that. Just like that. So, before we do anything else, let's get the pot out of the way. And there was cutting in there. See what we get out of it. We're going to take our beneficial bacteria, but before we do that, where I have the little indentation for the roots, we're going to just take the surface tension out. Just like that. Once you get the surface tension out, the water won't run away on you. Just like that. There we go. And now we'll get our Ficus. Because the soil's nice and wet, everything's going to be intact. We'll take about 3/4 of a tablespoon and just dab it on the roots. Just like that. We want this thing to grow. And just put it where the roots touch. Okay, let's seal up our bag so we don't get it contaminated. There we go. The sap is sticky. I should have wore gloves. But I'll know that on the other ficus. And we'll take our azus, about 3/4 of a tablespoon, and just dip it in there. Just like that. Just get it right in. Just fire it in. All that good bacteria. Make sure there's nothing wet on here. Put it back in the bag. Make sure you seal it all the time so you don't want to get it contaminated. There we go. Now I think like this should be pretty good. Nice trunk. This will start to flow over. Let me push this down. Now before I add the soil, we're going to have to work with the soil and the moat. So, take the turtle, put everything this way, put it in the moat. That's why here there's a lot of drainage for our little mini vine, our pixie mini vine. Just like that. There we go. We got more back here. And all we do is take our label and just push the soil back. That's all you do. I mean the Peace River gravel. That's soil. Peace River gravel. There we go. Just push it back. Push it back. Push it back. There we go. Put it in. And this will help Mr. Turtle stay in place. I'm not going to glue him. Just like that. Now we can continue filling up our container. Now, what did I do with the big scoop? Oh, it's around here someplace. Here it is, right in front of me. There we go. And we'll just put the soil around our plant, our fig, just like that. Now this is a little bit too big, so we're going to have to use our little cup. And just put it in, put it in. That's all you got to do. Just mound it in, and then we're going to firm it in. Just like that, while holding our tree in place. There's a lot you can do. If you can't find a pot, get an old, people are getting rid of their old waterfall pots that don't work. And if the top is loose, you can pull it apart and make a nice little planter out of it. Now before we put any more in there, I'm going to give it another spritz so we can get the surface tension out. Keep the root ball moist for now. There we go. Just like that. We can get our gravel wet so it stays in place. Now, I have to put more in. We're just going to get it to the lip of the pot. And same thing with our gravel in the background there. So our little Syngonium will grow, and it'll also have drainage. There. Okay, now we got this pretty good. Just like that, get our tree in there real nice. Remember, it's out of season, so we're not going to work on the roots. Just like that. So what I got to do now is when I fill these up, I'm going to put the label right here to keep the soil and the rock from mixing. So do I got my tweezers? Yes, we do. We're going to just take some of the perlite out of there. Just put it on the side. And then we're going to take our gravel and just stick it in. It'll look like the turtle's coming out of the water, the way we're simulating it with the gravel. And we'll just take our tweezers, pat it down, push it into the corners more. There we go. Get it into Mr. Turtle. I got more gravel. I'm just using it up. And we'll just wet it in. Now we have to get this even, so we'll take our scoop again, put it in, like that. There we go. Just firm it in. Now we'll just take our root rake, getting tongue-tied there, and just make sure there's no air pockets in there. There we go. An easy pot that you can use that you can't find. And why pay money for this? This was being thrown out at the garage sale because it didn't work, and I asked the guy how much, and he says, "I'll just take it." Or did I get it from Roy? I can't remember now. Whatever it was free. And what's good about being free? It's free. See, there's a little bit of an air pocket down there. Let's get that out. Use your fingers, push it in. There you go. Just like that. Now, let's see if I can dress it up a little bit. Nope, nothing in there, so we might have to just use sand just to dress it up on the top especially. But let's first get the surface tension out of our soil, just like that. I hope I'm not in the way. If I'm in the way a lot, let me know, and I'm going to try to rearrange all this stuff so I can work sideways so you can see it better. There we go. Just gonna wet it in real good. All that surface tension out. There we go. Water our Syngonium. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. Syngonium. I'll have to say it 1,000 times so I can remember it. There. I'll put some more of our Peace River gravel here. You can get little bags at the aquarium shops. This is what's it called. Supernaturals. It's Peace River gravel, and we can have some of the water flowing into the little moat there. So let's see how we can do that before we start watering everything in. So let's get our spoon and just get a little bit here, because it'll be like a little river flowing in. Just something different. Just around there. It'll be like 2 pumpkins on a pylon. They're getting everything ready for Halloween, or mainly for the fall, because fall is here, believe it or not. It's getting cooler out. Let's put a little more soil up on the top. Just like that. And don't worry about this being waterlogged, because with all that perlite on the bottom and it not getting the holes plugged up, it's going to work out good. So let's give it a little spritz right there. Put our spray bottle, wash everything down. Okay, we can take our spoon and just go around the side here, the edge, like water coming all around it, just like that. Just something different. Be creative. And we can have the little river running into the creek here, this little pond area, just like that. And there you go. Something a little different. And then on the top, we can put our gravel on top there so none of this stuff falls out. Like the plant, like it's overflowing with water. I don't have any, what do you call it? Any moss. Even though it rained, it's starting, some of the moss is starting to grow outside, which is good. So let's put the cover back on here. And then to cover up the perlite, we can just put sand, like the beach is growing in a, the willow's growing in a sandy area.